So Thanksgiving is this week, and we are showing you this morning how to make pies so good that you will definitely have to leave room for dessert. Brian Medford is the baking instructor at the Pantry in Seattle, and he's here to teach us how to be pie ninjas. Brian, good morning.
Hi, Liz. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you here. So we were just chit-chatting a little bit because you teach people how to make better pies, be pie ninjas, so to speak. What is the #1 concern that most people have when they're baking for Thanksgiving?
People are scared of the crust. They come in because they've had a bad experience and it gets tough or it doesn't roll out right. And I think that, when folks come in, they love the filling and the idea of different fillings, but they really want to be able to make a really good crust.
Oh, yeah.
And I think part of it is, Pillsbury, bless their hearts, have ruined us a little bit from being able to make a good crust because it's so easy to buy it.
We kind of default to the Pillsbury, yeah.
It's really easy to make a good crust dough.
Okay.
It's just a few really simple components that if you put together, it will come out every time.
Okay, so let's do it. So we have
so what
our
I
dough.
did is, there's some simple ingredients. There's flour, there's butter, which is unsalted, because I don't know how much salt is in salted butter, so I want to be sure to use unsalted.
Okay.
There is water, salt, and actually a little bit of sugar in here too. The sugar doesn't add any sweetness. The sugar adds color when it caramelizes, so you can get a nice brown color.
Okay.
So what I did is I made this morning and I let it cool down a little bit, probably about 2 hours, and now I'm ready to roll it out.
Okay, so you should let it cool for a while.
You should let it cool so it will come together and it will roll out a lot easier.
Okay, cool.
I say up to 2 days in the refrigerator, or you can actually make it to this point and keep it in the freezer for 2 or 3 months.
Oh, wow.
Pull it out the night before, let it defrost in the refrigerator and use it.
Ready to go.
Ready to go.
All right. Okay.
So what I'm going to show you how to do is just how to roll it out a little bit. One of the really important things is just to make sure that you have plenty of flour, because you don't want your dough to stick. So I'm going to move it around to make sure that I can move it.
Okay.
Because that's where people start to get nervous.
Yeah, you don't want it to stick, and yeah.
So we're going to rub the top with flour too, and we can remove all of this flour later on.
Okay.
And so what we want to do is just start rolling it out in a circle. You can see I started in a circle. If I start with a circle, I'm more likely to end up with a circle. So I'm just going to roll out just a little bit, and then I'm going to turn it and make sure I'm not sticking, and roll it out again and make sure I'm not sticking. If I'm sticking at all, I'll just pick it up a little bit and throw some extra flour under there.
Okay.
And
so
then,
it's all about this very precise roll, because I tend to kind of just roll willy-nilly.
So that's why I really like the French rolling pin, is since it doesn't have the handles, you don't have that desire just to roll back and forth. I can really be more controlled with this. So one of the things that I like to do is really to just move one part of the pin so I get a nice round flaky pastry, and I keep it moving. Each time I roll it, I want to keep it moving.
I like that.
So, and then at this point,
you make it look so easy, especially, you're right, because I remember my mom too. She'd freak out doing the crust. And she was such a great baker.
It's pretty easy. I think it's about practice. The more that you do it, the more comfortable you'll feel with the dough. You want to feel to be sure that one part is like, that part, that feels like a good thickness.
Yeah.
And then over here, this is still kind of thick.
It's a little thick.
So I want to be sure that I just work on the parts of the dough that feel thick, because what I don't want is to get too thin, because then that's when your pie will break through.
All right, so Brian, let me ask you, because you teach pie making at the Pantry in Seattle.
At the Pantry, right.
How can people take some of these classes and learn some of this stuff hands-on?
The Pantry releases about 45 classes each quarter, and we just did for the fall quarter. So once again, it's usually about 2 months before the quarter starts. You can sign up on the email list, which is really important because they sign up really, they go very, very quickly.
They do fill up quick, yeah.
So, the other thing that you can do is there's a waiting list. I have some savory pies that I'm teaching in January, and so we're going to bring some meat and some savoriness into the pie. But the pantry is a really great place to sit around a table, learn about new food and cooking techniques, and really learn about food community and food culture.
I love that. Brian, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for teaching us how to really get that pie crust right so that everyone will be so impressed with your Thanksgiving Day pie. For more information, if you want to check out the Pantry, it's thepantryseattle.com.